The distress signal rippled across 300 star systems in a matter of hours, a desperate plea encoded in the universal language of mathematics and fear. The Galactic Council, that ancient assembly of civilized species who had maintained peace for 10,000 years, was transmitting on all emergency frequencies. Their message was simple and terrifying. Help us. We are dying. Commander Sarah Chen stood on the bridge of the UESS Indomitable, humanity's flagship, as the translation scrolled across her neural interface. Around her, the crew moved with practiced efficiency, their movements precise despite the weight of what they were reading. The galaxy that had once rejected Earth's application for membership, that had deemed humans too violent, too unpredictable, too dangerous to join civilized space, that same galaxy was now begging for their help. "Ma'am, we're receiving similar signals from the Terran Defense Network," Lieutenant Morrison reported, his hands dancing across holographic controls. 16 human fleets are standing by for orders. The Council is requesting immediate military assistance against an unknown threat. Sarah allowed herself a bitter smile. Unknown threat. The Council had encountered the Ravagers 3 months ago, and in that short time 47 member worlds had gone silent. The Ravagers consumed everything, resources, technology, and biomass, leaving only lifeless husks of planets in their wake. They were a swarm, vast and hungry, and they didn't negotiate. The Council's defensive fleets, designed for peacekeeping and deterrence rather than actual warfare, had been obliterated in the first encounters. Their weapons were too civilized, their tactics too honorable, their military doctrine built on 10 millennia of relative peace. They had forgotten what it meant to fight for survival. Humanity had not. All ships report ready for quantum jump, the navigation officer announced. Coordinates locked on the Valorian system as requested by the Council. Sarah gazed at the tactical display, where dozens of human warships hung in formation around her. Dreadnoughts bristling with railguns and plasma cannons, carriers loaded with fighter craft piloted by humans who had trained in Earth's brutal gravity since childhood, destroyers equipped with weapons the Council had banned centuries ago as too inhumane for civilized warfare. Every ship carried soldiers who had evolved on a death world, a planet where everything from the gravity to the weather to the native fauna was actively trying to kill them, humans who had clawed their way to the top of their food chain through persistence, ingenuity, and an almost insane refusal to give up. The galaxy had called them monsters once. Now they were calling them saviors. "Open a channel to all fleet commanders," Sarah ordered. It's time they knew what they're getting into. The holographic display flickered to life, showing the faces of 16 other commanders from across human space. Admiral Okonkwo from the African Coalition, Captain Zhang from the Pan-Asian Defense Force, Commander O'Brien from the Celtic Republics. All of them wore the same expression, grim determination mixed with something that might have been anticipation. "Ladies and gentlemen," Sarah began, "we all know why we're here. The Galactic Council rejected us because we were too violent. They said our history of warfare made us unsuitable for civilized space. They looked at our world with its extreme weather, deadly predators, and constant natural disasters, and called us Deathworlders with contempt." She paused, letting her words sink in. "Now they're facing an enemy that doesn't care about their laws or their ethics, an enemy that only understands one language, force. And suddenly, being violent doesn't seem like such a bad quality after all." A few grim chuckles echoed across the channel. "The Ravagers are sweeping through the Valorian system as we speak," Sarah continued. 3 billion souls are trapped on Valoria Prime awaiting evacuation. The Council's defense fleet has already been destroyed. We're their last hope." She leaned forward, her eyes hard. "But let me be clear. We're not doing this for gratitude. We're not doing it for acceptance into their precious council. We're doing it because it's the right thing to do and because we're the only ones who can." "Rules of engagement, Commander?" Admiral Okonkwo asked. Sarah's smile was cold. "There are no rules against the Ravagers. They want total war? We'll show them what total war looks like when you fight a species that evolved practicing it. Use every weapon we have, hold nothing back. Show them why Earth is a death world, and why Deathworlders are the most dangerous beings in this galaxy." The commanders nodded, understanding the unspoken truth. Humanity was about to unleash capabilities the Council didn't even know existed. Weapons developed in the dark days before first contact. Tactics honed through thousands of years of human-on-human conflict. a ferocity born from surviving on a planet that had tried to kill them since the dawn of their evolution. "All ships prepare for quantum jump," Sarah commanded. "We're going to war." The fleet jumped as one, tearing through the fabric of space-time itself. When they emerged in the Valorian system, they found hell waiting for them. Thousands of Ravager ships swarmed around the planet like locusts, their organic hulls pulsing with malevolent hunger. The few remaining Council ships were fighting a desperate holding action, their shields failing, their weapons having minimal effect. Then the human fleet opened fire. Railguns accelerated tungsten slugs to relativistic speeds, punching through Ravager hulls like paper. Plasma cannons superheated the vacuum of space, incinerating entire clusters of enemy ships. Fighter craft streaked through the swarm with impossible agility, their pilots laughing and whooping as they unleashed fury. The Ravagers, accustomed to the Council's restrained warfare, had never encountered anything like humanity's military doctrine. Humans didn't fight to capture. They didn't fight to negotiate. They fought to win with a savage efficiency that bordered on terrifying. Within hours, the tide had turned. The Ravager swarm, which had seemed unstoppable, broke apart under the human assault. Their ships fled into the darkness, pursued by human destroyers that wouldn't let them escape. On the surface of Valoria Prime, millions of civilians watched through their viewing screens as the human fleet carved through their enemies. They had been told humanity was too dangerous, too violent, too uncivilized. Now they understood. Humanity wasn't violent in spite of being civilized. They were civilized because they understood violence better than anyone else in the galaxy. Commander Sarah Chen watched the last Ravager ship explode and felt no satisfaction, only tired relief. The galaxy had sent an SOS, and humanity, the rejected Deathworlders, had answered they always would.